Deadman Allstars is back from the 30th of May to the 8th of June. If you haven't seen the announcement, it's literally just dropped over on the Solo Mission channel, so go and watch that so you have an idea of what's going on here. This is an extra discussion video talking about all the new changes, speculating about what's going to happen in the competition, and before we start, make sure you subscribe to this channel, Mission Solo, as it will be the content hub for Deadman Allstars. Hello and welcome everyone to a little discussion about Deadman Allstars. We thought we'd sprinkle in an extra bit of seasoning here on top of the announcement video. I'm joined with four fantastic competitors here. Let me go through them. Dino, the winner of Season 1 Deadman Allstars, team captain, back again of the Dino Nuggets. We've got Pip, who was the kill leader in Deadman Allstars, the most dangerous man in Season 1.
Crazy.
I had to think of something on the fly. We've also got Khazard, the best old school RuneScape player in history and runner-up for Gamer of the Year in 2025. And we
is that my title?
We also have Rhys, first pick, in fact, in the Season 1 draft. How are you guys doing? Are you excited to finally talk about All-Stars? Because I feel like we've had to sort of keep it on the down low for like months at this point.
Been holding it in, dude. Can't wait.
Dude, I'm just glad I'm not a streamer, bro.
Yeah, on stream, I was watching Coxie and he's like, I wonder what pick Lake's going to go. And he's going to be like first or second round.
Yeah, that's so
so if there was a hypothetical All-Stars and if we were hypothetically...
If he's in it, of course.
Yeah.
Crazy hypothetical.
I know, yeah. It's actually hilarious. But yeah, like I was kind of silly for announcing it at RuneFest, and then you guys have just been getting questions on questions. And hopefully today we can answer some of those questions. And the first question is, Dino, who are you picking in the with the very first,
first round?
You can spoil it right now.
Get right into it, mate.
I'm gonna pretend that it's a surprise. And
Oh no, who's he picking? What?
I mean,
You'll
let's
never
be
know,
honest.
you know?
Let's be honest. If you don't pick West Ham, it's like a betrayal of friendship, isn't it? Really?
Yeah,
It is
that's a
true.
dynamic
It's,
duo, bro.
genuinely pick him due to vibes, and it's just good that he's better than Rhys. So.
Oh, okay, buddy,
Dude,
okay.
he did carry last time.
I know Dino's a little cagey guy. He's going to pretend like he's not picking West Ham. He obviously is. And then I could see poor Rhys going early again. It's a pretty similar cast to last time if we go on the draft board players. And then I was so sad, man, because I've got fifth pick. I'm just like,
Yeah, I feel like the first three picks are like really strong, and then it kind of drops off like a level. And the next like five picks are still very, very strong, but the first three are definitely stronger than the next five.
Yeah, being third last time was actually quite nice because you was guaranteed to get someone really good, but then you could also get a second person who's also pretty damn good.
I do like the corner spots though, because you can pick like half your team essentially. It's just like,
Yeah, I think sixth is like the best odds.
Yeah, then I'm gonna get back-to-back shitters. That's the worst part. I'm gonna have to pick people. I don't want to.
Whoa, buddy!
Ah, what the hell?
This was randomly selected. Obviously the viewers don't get to see, but I picked through some balls, put them in a bag, shook them around, and I even told Rhys I don't want fifth pick. Like that's the one I least want, and I got it. So
really,
if that's
I
not
actually think
evidence
fifth
of
pick
it
looks
not
decent.
being rigged. But
No,
like for real, I looked at the draft board, it actually looks
I think.
decent.
Wait, but
no,
if
it's not that bad.
you might basically be fourth pick. It depends what skill specs is going to do. I still don't know.
Yeah, that is true actually.
Me and Jay had a little discussion, and he's not going to pick me, so we'll see who he goes for.
Watch him just pick you down in like 3 days time.
Yeah, I think go for someone like they could go someone rogue, like I don't know,
No,
Ian, Doobies.
He loves Doobies so much.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
I haven't predicted on Ian
as well. Maybe like Sick Nerd or something like that. That'd be funny.
There's a lot of good picks, genuinely.
I think he picks Doobies because if he doesn't pick Doobies, really I don't think Doobies makes it to his next pick if he doesn't pick him.
No, definitely.
Yeah,
not.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
But I could see him going for like a Grizzly Bear squad, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
Now we all hate
Minus
each
Dino.
other. I'm gonna be honest.
Dino, you're in the Risley man.
They want to break from each other, don't they?
You're gonna be picking Sick Nerd, your leader, on like 12, 13.
Absolutely not. Get me away from him.
What the hell?
It'll be a nice little breather, you know. Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, part of me was a little bit sad when the draft order came out because I was like, oh no, Dino's going to pick flipping West Ham again. It's going to be like a rerun of season 1. But there's going to be a decent amount of variation in here. Like, the core of the Snakes team probably isn't going to be making a return, I wouldn't think.
This time round, well, I kind of know it last time, but I picked some people I don't really know that well, and obviously it worked out. I don't regret it. But this time, I definitely want a team that I just sort of get on with really well and literally just pick for vibes. And yeah, that does still mean West Ham because I probably get on with him more than anyone that I know. But then my other picks are probably going to surprise some people. I think I'm not going to pick based on like just being really good.
Yeah, that's fair.
So you're picking C Engineer at 13. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, I'm not saying anything.
That's pretty much what you just said.
we already won with the best teams. Now we have to win with a bad team as well, just to prove we can do it.
All right, buddy. All right.
Yeah, that Dino RNG coming in again, and you guys are getting the first pick. All right, let's move on from the draft because that is happening in a couple of days' time, and we'll all know soon. I want to move on to talk about the biggest change for this season, and that is the sigils. So in Deadman Allstars Season 2, the world is essentially like a Deadman Armageddon world, and we got Mod Manked and Mod Diazong to make some changes to that world. So we will be starting off with a free sigil. So these starting sigils, Ruthless Ranger, Formidable Fighter, and Menacing Mage. Ruthless Ranger means that you have a 10% chance to cripple the target's movement and deal 15 extra damage over the next 6 seconds. Formidable Fighter means that you have a 30% chance to deal an extra 10 damage with an attack, and you also get plus 30 in stab, slash, and crush. And then the sigil of the Menacing Mage is, again, you get a 10% chance to deal an extra 18 damage, but that 18 damage can heal you back as well. So essentially, you could get a 36 damage swing with that Mage sigil. And the question is, what are we going to be picking right at the start? Because this, I feel, is a huge decision, especially because you might not be getting any other sigils for a while. What do you guys think?
Menacing Mage has to be the most obvious one, right?
I don't know. I think it depends how you're looking to play. Menacing Mage was the hard carry in like the previous Deadmans. Could you sort of rush Monkey Madness with it? But we don't have to do that this time. So we don't need like that Mage boost. I feel like if you're looking for early fights, you're probably going to want to go with Ruthless Ranger.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, if you're going for early Ruthless Ranger, yeah. Surely you should be getting better sigils for the finale than Menacing Mage.
Dude, the sigils are not easy to get. Like, I feel like you can go the whole week and not rely on getting any of them.
Yeah, if you get like insanely unlucky and you don't hunt them, yeah.
I mean, yeah, I guess it depends what you're doing. If you're actually just straight.
If you just sat in the fucking hookah lounge just chilling, then yeah, you're gonna get nailed.
Oh, it's over.
I was thinking that Ruthless Ranger is like by far the worst out of all of them. I think there's a case for Formidable Fighter because if you get a Corrupted Scythe, the melee training is crazy.
Yeah,
saves you a lot of hours. But I do think Menacing Mage will be the most used sigil in the finale.
I think even without a Scythe, Formidable Fighter saves you so much time melee training, especially if you do like Naguas or something. It's kind of crazy there.
Yeah, it's definitely good. I think if you're looking for early fights, you can't beat the Ranger one, at least for like the first day.
Yeah, the Ranger one, you're going to get smoked by people that have it.
Like,
and if one team controls things early, then they can snowball.
And you get them early kills, you then get kitted out for the final. So try and get as many early kills as possible.
Rhys is the type of guy to be proper shilling the raging sigil, and he's just going to pick the melee one or something.
I would try that, guys.
It's just propaganda. Absolute propaganda, right here.
Guys, it's so good. You should pick it. An important thing to note, though, is you could, like, in multi-fights and stuff, you can only have one of them procced. So you could go the route of going 2 Ruthless Ranger and 2 Menacing Mages and try to proc both of them so they're double bleeding.
Yeah, I think that's a viable strategy, at least like splitting with your team.
Mm-hmm.
Because, yeah, like you said, you can only be getting hit those 1s, those 2s by one person at once. So like all those other hits that are coming in are completely wasted. That's a very good point about the range and the mage ones. I don't think the melee has that effect. I think we're all agreed that for the finale fights, the mage one is definitely the best because it gives you that 36 swing in hit points. I mean, if that even procs twice, that's probably one of the best sigils there is.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it depends how much you mage, and it only happens when you actually hit, right? That 10% chance. So if you splash, it doesn't count. So if anything, you're probably going to get a 1 of 5 at the very most.
Yeah.
I reckon.
Yeah.
Am I right in saying that
not a lot.
got nerfed as well? It used to be 20%? Or...
Yeah, you are right.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. So there's actually a good split. Okay, I was thinking that people might all just choose the mage one, but I think there's cases to be made for all of them. I think the melee one definitely could be very useful during the week, especially for PVMers. I don't know, if people go and do TOA or something like that, like the plus 30 and the damage and killing breach monsters. might be good. But yeah,
that's true. I do think it is probably pretty good for PVM, but it just feels so risky, like banking on getting the menacing mage one for the finale. If that's what you want, I feel like you should just take that and just settle,
Yeah, it's true. I suppose it depends on how much farming of sigils you're going to do, because you have to farm all your gear, don't you? So we're like, I think having played one season, all of us understands that actually getting the gear sometimes, like the days really start disappearing, and all of a sudden it's like, oh my god, we've only got like two arms tops. Like, what's going on? It's like it's like you think you've got all these grand plans, you think you can have so much time, and then like it just goes like so quickly. Right, so I'm just going to move us on to talking about some of the other sigils. So on to tier 1 sigils. I'm not going to go through all of these individually, but one of the mechanics in Deadman Armageddon was that when you get a starter pack, once per day, that will give you a tier 1 sigil. So some of these tier 1 sigils are that we're going to be seeing a decent amount of them across the week. It's fair
a gamble
to say,
roll every day, bro.
Yeah, every single day.
Gonna be.
You essentially
every time we wake up, like, oh, I'm gambling, boys. Come on, give me it.
I don't know if you've looked through some of these tier 1 sigils, but some are they're not all equal. You can definitely get really bad RNG.
Alcon first, like early game Alcon. Oh my god, if you get that.
Yes, Sigil of Alchemaniac, it gives you 30% more coins. So imagine if you get that on your day 1 roll. Oh my god, yeah, that's so much more GP. That is a very, very big Kickstarter.
Yep.
Right,
I didn't even think about that, because in a normal DMM, it's like you don't really care about that, but in one like this, it's actually insane. Where you're like a group iron.
Yeah, exactly. Like Alking Rev loot, Alking the World Agility loot, or anything like that.
Yeah, you do so much Alkin throughout, don't you?
Yeah.
Imagine you open your starter pack day 1, you get Sigil of Life, the agility one, where you just get agility XP where you run.
Oh, I actually,
that
so
is
happy
fucking
that.
good, isn't it? Yeah.
That's the dream.
Yeah, because by Breach 1, you could probably be like 75 agility, like with this one. It literally is just like the Trickster boots from that league. It's so nice.
You guys are sleeping on the sigil that gives 10k every mark of grace. That's just like your money making.
Everyone's trading and fucking Dino just sat there just running laps.
Bro, 10k a time. Do that
he's
for
rich,
a little bit.
That's a new bait one.
Obviously, most people are going to be praying for some of these combat sigils. So this resilience one is actually banned for the finale because it gives you so much hit points. If you can combine it with like a region and a hit points cape or some sort of combination like that, it's like 60 hit points per minute, which is insane.
Wow.
The finale. So that is banned.
Yeah.
But you can use it in the week, so it's a very good pick for the week. And Sigil of the Well-Fed, that's also banned in the finale because you just get a lot more hit points out of your food and Food Master as well. We don't want to be extending the fights by tons, but they're the only banned sigils.
Yep, agreed.
So some of these combat tier 1s are very nice. Consistency +1 damage on everything is just like across the board pretty decent. Meticulous Mage as well, to point that one out. That could be particularly good, especially with the rune saving.
Low key, those ones are just as good as the combat ones. The high alch one is really good, and then there's the Sigil of Exaggeration. That is going to be super nice.
Oh yeah, true.
Whoever your crafter is, whoever your hunter is, you just won't have to get 5 levels. It'll save you so much XP, so much time.
Yeah, true. I think for crafting last time, did you get a stew? Did you have to do the quests to get a stew?
I think I went and cut the stupid tree. Or is that the flesh one? I think I got a pod.
Okay,
Yeah.
like the mushroom tree. So that's like probably like ages worth of time down the drain. So that saves you a lot of time, especially with Herblore as well for making brews and Blighted Overloads, which will be in season 2. If you're killing breach monsters. So yeah, moving down to the tier 2 sigils, there are a bunch of. This is where like I'm looking at the tier 2 ones as like the finale ones a lot of the time. So like you've got your Light Bearer sigil, you've got your Specialized Strikes, which are really good at special attacks. Any standing out to you guys particularly from the tier 2?
The ones that had to split into 3, the ninja ones.
Yes. Yeah, Sigil of Swashbuckler, Gunslinger, and Swiftness. What they do, for anyone that doesn't know, is they speed your attack speed up by 1 tick. So if you have a 5-tick weapon, it becomes 4 ticks. So that's a crossbow, becomes the speed of a whip, which is especially nice for PKing because you can really catch people off guard. They don't have time to eat, all these sort of things. And definitely could see them in the finale for sure.
I legit think Swashbuckler might be one of them like unsung heroes to like people. Like I might use it in the finale, for example.
Dude,
Really?
You get a fang, a 4-tick fang.
Yeah.
I was thinking Gunslinger would be like the one.
Bro, it sounds like I'm noob baiting, by the way, but I'm not
Like,
actually. I'm legit not. I'm legit not.
Yeah, I
Wait,
like
what-
that's a
okay.
word you say, Rhys.
Okay, Rhys, why Swashbuckler over like Gunslinger? Isn't it way better to just like spam 4-tick range when you're getting DD'd, so you just never give any free
Yeah, I
hits
mean
away?
the main reason is so you can get 2-for-1 hits, right? And you're hitting with something like a Fang, incredible accuracy, making them count
Yeah.
primarily as well. Because like Fang will be your like insane DPS with 4-tick, right?
Yeah,
Whereas
that's true.
bolts aren't that great DPS.
Yeah, but with 99 defense, for anyone that doesn't know, I think the range is your weakest style. Is that correct, Rhys?
Yeah, it's like yeah.
Yeah.
Major melee, especially with a Fang. Fang is really good, and that's what probably people will be using this time.
I think
With
so
Rage
too,
not
yeah.
being in the case, yeah.
You were sleeping on the Nox halberd. 4-tick Nox halberd.
True.
Right, are you gonna get 93 Slayer, buddy? Like, I'll see you there.
I was
I'll see you
looking
in the
at
Spider
it.
Cave day 2, buddy.
With the drop rate, if you get one Araxor task, you'll get a halberd on average if you do one task.
Ooh, that is, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
It will
That's a
be
great idea,
around,
guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it
Bro.
not a good idea? I think it's a good idea.
Why are we
If
all
you
Let's
baiting
not
each
listen
other?
to Rhys,
Bro.
man.
Yeah,
This guy
He's
will just-
gaslighting me,
He will
dude.
just talk out of his ass, right? Just ignore it.
Oh my god! Right, okay. So like, I'm gonna go through a few more of these tier 2
That's so
sigils. Could be sleeping on something like Sigil of the Barrows. I know
Yeah,
it's
no
Dude,
way.
I
know it
no,
sounds
no,
flippant.
it's
No
good.
way.
Yeah, we had Aram staffs. Like our whole team had Aram staffs. It's 40% more accuracy on your
Are you talking
mage.
about finale?
Yeah,
Okay, that does actually sound kind of crazy. Okay, but skilling ones. Sigil of Hunter. Surely that one is juiced.
Yes.
That one is
holy.
huge.
yeah, but
Yeah,
that's like a burden, right? Like imagine if like I don't know, if Rhys gets the Sigil of Hunter, like he has to go and hunt chins
Yeah.
rather than PK.
Bro,
Yeah.
if Rhys gets it, he's just not gonna say anything, right? He's just
Yeah.
gonna pretend he
Bro,
didn't get it.
you are fucking right. I'm not gonna lie, you're right.
Yeah, anyone got Sigil of Hunter? Yeah, so you get three chins per successful catch. So like that's a really quick for range trading.
Did many
like,
people actually catch chins last time? I know your team did, Joel, but did any
our,
other
te-
teams?
our team
I
did,
don't think so.
and the Burgers did. I'm
I think
pretty
it's-
sure.
The Burger said, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it wasn't. Is that worth the time? I don't know.
Last time we were genuinely worried that it would be like Dino, SR, Block, Rhys just sitting outside raids all day, like not letting us do raids and
Yeah.
things. So we wanted to get Port in there as fast as possible. So if Coxie hunted the chins, then that meant Port didn't have to waste time training his range. You could just chin it. So,
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
And,
yeah.
and like time wise, it probably was pretty similar of Scurious. So going on to one of the utility sigils, which I think is crazy for PVM, especially, and it was in Armageddon, is Sigil of Revoked Limitation, and that means that Revenant
yep.
weapons are
Oh,
acting
Dino's
as,
living,
as
bro.
if they're in the wilderness all round the map, which is actually crazy if you can get a rev weapon. So that will really.
Oh, don't worry,
speed
Dano's
you.
just gonna rock up and just get one in like 5kc. He's
I
got
know,
it.
exactly the nuggets.
But you
man.
need Regacy on your team for that, man. 3 kill
Bro,
count,
true.
whatever it was.
Oh, they got the trade off of fucking arguments and shit.
He just starts screaming about a crossbow. We all thought he was taking the piss. It was like, no, you haven't got one.
Bro,
You know,
what
it was ridiculous. But
Yeah,
I
that
honestly
is crazy.
think that like getting that early just snowballed us so much.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. The
such a
thing is,
strong weapon.
early getting the crowbow as well. It was like a big struggle for a lot of people to get range XP. Like we was
Yeah.
legit waiting to like make broad bolts and shit. And I just rock up and I just see fucking Casper in like crowbow full arms. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
What's
so
going on?
We literally just passed the crossbow between us, went to revs, infinite money, infinite range XP. Like,
Yeah, it's
It
legit
was,
insane. Yeah.
crazy. But yeah, now that you can do that anywhere on the map, if you have that sigil, is kind of insane.
Yeah.
And it's going to be good for PVM, of course, but these things don't help you in the finale. It's similar to something like Last Recall. It's just like it's super cozy to have. If anyone goes and does God Wars, you don't need the KC to get back in the room and all these sort of things. Bunch of these utility ones are good. Point out Prosperity as well. You have a 20% increased chance to receive loot from the global Deadman table. And so that's 20% more sigils. So you want to get that really early if possible.
One
That's actually
underrated
huge.
one, Sigil of Versatility, is if one of the scary PKers gets that, it is going to be very tough to escape. Because they'll start on normal spellbook, teleblock you, and switch to Ancients, and they just have you for 2.5 minutes, and you will not be able to escape. But Rhys, imagine you're doing Tombs of Masket, and West Ham teleblocks you, and you log out. He's just gonna keep sitting at Tombs of Masket like until you're gonna have to call your teammate to come hit West Ham so you can log in. Like he's gonna be sitting there anyway.
Pip, it sounds like you was just scared of West Ham, man. Like,
I'm terrified of. I am, bro. I'm
Also-
terrified of West Ham.
Right, okay, moving on to the tier 3 sigils. These are... I actually think a lot of them are on a similar level to tier 2 in terms of the finale, but in the week, they could be very good for PKing. So like a typical PKing sigil is the Sigil of Aggression, just 10% damage all around. That Voidwaker hitting a 65, that now hits a 71. Like that is particularly scary, I think, for the week. I don't know how you guys feel about some of these tier 3 sigils. Some of them very good for PVM, obviously. Titanium basically makes things a joke. You take not much damage from PVM. Meticulousness, 75% accuracy in all styles against NPCs. Again, very good for PVM. And Rampart is another one to point out, plus 100 in defenses all around, which is very good.
I think the best one for the finale is quite clear. It's Pyre's Protection, right? That is like if someone like a good PK, like the top 5 PKs gets that, then that's a massive difference. It's less of a meaningful thing on like a lower tier PK, of course, but if like, you know, me, Casper, Odo, etc., get that.
Yeah, so just to go through what Pyre's Protection does, it gives you 35% damage reduction when you get hit on prayer, but only 5% increase in damage when you get off prayer. So if you can get a lot of prayers right against your opponent, then it is very, very good. The only thing I'd say about Pyre's Protection is that with the way the finale will be set up, it will be in reverse skill order. So you'll always be fighting someone similar skill level to you. So I, for example, anticipate I'll be against like Rhys or Dino or someone like that. So I don't think I'll get that much value out of Pyre's Protection because I don't think I'll be able to do that well on prayers against my opponent. But for someone like yourself,
I mean, even if you get like 50% prayers, it's still insanely worth it.
It's good on average, but if you're right.
Yeah, 5%. It's also rounds down, right, Port? So like you hit like I know an 18 or something. That's no added damage if you're off prayer because the game rounds it down.
Right.
Really?
I see.
That makes aggression really strong too.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Yeah. So aggression also you take 5% off prayer. But I mean, like if you start stacking some of these together, it might be a bad Christmas. Do you know what I mean? You got AGS to 90 or something.
Yeah, you get a bit spicy at that point. Like, calm down, fellas.
Rampage as well. That's like it used to be one chosen for the finales, but I think there are better options these days. It makes you a little bit
it's kind of been nerfed into the ground, isn't it?
Yeah, you have to be different styles of attack, like every other attack, and you can stack up like more and more damage and accuracy. But there's a cap and things. But it's definitely a good option if people don't have better stuff.
I feel like it just makes you way too predictable now. It used to be worth it when it was like 15%. Yeah, now it's just not. The damage increase isn't worth the predictability.
I'd say the only 2 ones for the finale that you'll probably use is Pyre's Protection and Rampart that are the tier 3 sigils. A lot of the tier 2 sigils is what people are going to focus on.
Yeah.
During the week and during the breaches, I think Sigil of Finality, if you get just anyone on your team gets that, they can hit a Finality sim in a multi-fight. That is actually game-changing.
You're kind of cooking. Yeah.
Finality sim until
and then your teammate freezes you off the kill and you're like, oh shit. I've just been barrage club on my own team.
Yeah, Finality is one of those sigils where in a normal season it's very, very cheap, but it definitely does have that utility in multi, and especially if like you don't have like really good gear, a Finality D-Mace, for example, all of a sudden a D-Mace is like a VLS.
If someone gets like a Debo or someone gets like a fucking Volatile from the breach, Finality with that is a bit dirty.
Volley someone and you can be in full tank gear. It doesn't even matter. It's still guaranteed to hit the special attack.
Oh, no, the corrupted volleys.
So that's very nice.
Yeah,
I don't think we'll see it in the finale, but I feel like people will prioritize PvP sigils for the breaches over PVM ones. I suppose if a team is anticipating just PVMing, then maybe they might sneak in one of those ones which give you extra accuracy. But I could see it most people taking like defensive sigils or food sigils or damage sigils.
Yeah, dying and killing matters too much to bits about that. Yeah,
if you're in like a good spot for the breach or where you're not getting hit and stuff, like you might think, oh, I want some PVM sigils, but it doesn't make enough of a difference for it to like be worth it. Because like the breach NPCs are so free anyway, you just like safe spot them and shit. So it's like whatever.
Yeah, isn't your accuracy like quite good anyway on them monsters?
A lot of them, especially some of them, like you just mage and you just never miss.
Okay, so the next change to talk about is the change to the Emblem Traders shop. This is where you spend points that you get from tier 5s. You get tier 5s primarily from breaches or from NPCs above 100 combat. And in this shop now, we have the trinkets, all 1 million points each, and we have the Chambers of Xeric prayer scrolls at 5 million points each. We obviously haven't had the feedback from the public yet, But I think this might be a contentious change. I don't know if you guys like this or not, but my idea was to get people out of Chambers Eric, out of that instance, and doing more things in the open world. And it also changes up what the teams are doing, because the team did so much raids last time that I figured it was time for a change. What do you guys think?
I feel like Raids 1 was like a clear meta last time, and switching up like this is a really good way of doing it. And it also like ties in the fact that people go to breaches, get the tier 5s, and then spend it on that as well. So I think it's perfect, really, for what you want in the game mode.
I was one of the people who were raids locked, and I'm just grateful that I don't have to be at Chambers the whole time again.
Bro, you love Chambers. What are you talking about?
I mean, it was fun, but it started getting miserable when it's like you're just hunting scrolls and you're just like, oh, another non-scroll. It's just like,
yeah,
oh.
yeah. Our team was very depressed. I'd say around day 5, 6. It was not. It was not going
The
well.
days are just blending together at like a certain point. It's just the same thing over and over.
Yeah. What about 5? So 5 million for each scroll. So that's 10 million for both scrolls, which is still 7 tier 5s. And if you think about
it's a lot.
Where you're getting your potions from the shop, like I don't remember having an abundance of points in the shop last time anyway. So this is, it's almost a choice. How soon do you buy some of these trinkets and these prayers and things? It's not, you can't look at these prices and think, oh, they're just free, because 7 tier 5s, that's a hell of a lot of NPCs or breach kills.
You can also just like, if someone gets it early, that's like a lower tier PK, you can just trade it to the higher tier PKs as well, the price scrolls. So it's a good like choice of what you can do.
Yeah, you can sort of save up across a team and then just transfer them over and all these sort of things. The thing is with the trinkets, I wanted to include them because they're so rare from the normal drop table that we just didn't really get a chance to use them. I'm not even sure anyone got a trinket last time. So having
I thought they were disabled.
Fairies. Yeah, well, there we go.
Same.
I don't think any of us got one.
There's the Thrall Sigil too. Like the Thrall Sigil plus Thrall Trinket is crazy.
Yeah, like mental DPS, isn't it?
Sigil of the augmented thrall. Max hits of your thralls are multiplied by 5, so your thralls can hit 15s, which is it is crazy DPS.
And I'm curious what the sweaty PKers think about the Venge Trinket, because I know a lot of people hate it.
I mean, if you're gonna sit there and bank fight against like another good PK, it's very, very good. But like at the end of the day, it's probably not worth your time to do that anyway. And then when you're trying to go for someone and trying to focus someone, the Venge Trinket isn't really going to be that helpful, because most of the time I'm not going to be hitting back, right?
But the very existence of a Venge Trinket just makes it, there's that extra edge if there is
spicy,
PK on PK, say at Barrows or something. Like, it could be fireworks for sure. Moving on to our quest unlocks. Of course, every Deadman, we've got to have some quest unlocks because we've all done these quests millions of times. New quests to be unlocked are Monkey Madness 1 and the entire Legends quest line, and then the good old Piety quest line is unlocked. This time, we dropped Desert Treasure 1 just to change up that day 1, day 2 vibe, and Desert Treasure is a bit of an iconic quest line. It sort of mixes up the power levels within the teams. If you go for Desert Treasure early, then you might be pretty weak, but if you do get Desert Treasure and then you've got your mage, you can start dominating. So what do you guys think about the quest unlocks this year?
I feel like we have to do more questing.
No, well, actually, okay, so you say more questing, but as part of Legends Quest, you do get Underground Pass for free. So that's
I was about to say that.
It's 2 hours worth of Crystal
nice.
Shield.
So you pretty much got a Crystal Shield at that point.
Yeah. And like, I know everyone just did Monkey Madness 1 last time for the XP. So that's like an hour saved here and there. So I added it up because I knew everyone was going to complain that I was making the quest more. And it actually adds up to be something relatively similar. I mean, that's a good point as well, actually, that you can get your Crystal Shield a lot earlier this time, or even maybe a Crystal Bow if you want some sort of...
I don't think doing more quests is a bad thing, extending the early game.
I mean, I feel like the actual quest itself is good, though. Like, you can actually lock down, well, not lock down, but like hunt people at Desert Treasure. You can, like, things like Magic Logs is also like a stopper as well, early game.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's not like you can just go and do Desert Treasure instantly. There are those 5 pre-quests. There's limp work routes you have to get, magic logs, all these things. The skills you got to get. And like you said, it potentially, I mean, not to give any plans away, but I can imagine that we will be seeing PKing at the Desert Treasure locations, especially once somebody has Desert Treasure unlocked. It might be a struggle to get some other people through there as part of a team.
We're gonna see someone dying with 10 trout and 10 bread in their inventory.
That's exactly what I want to see. 20 limp work routes? Oh, sorry, mate.
Bye-bye.
It's a terrible day. Because the first breach is 7 hours after release, and you probably can get Desert Treasure done in that time, but you're going to be very, very weak for that first breach. So
Yeah.
I could potentially see a team or two going for that route and then trying to dominate the world after that breach and just skipping the first breach. So there's a bit.
First breach, though.
Yeah, there's a bit of decision making.
The thing is, the reason why I see it might be worth it is because the thing is, in the first breach, you're not actually doing that in good DPS anyway. You're really low stats. Like the amount of kills you're gonna get are relatively low compared to like the second breach onwards.
Yeah, exactly. You can't do that much PVM at the first breach.
Yeah,
and then to be running around with barrage or something, that you probably could get that after 8 hours. Especially if you're picking up some free kills at those quest locations, I could see a team or two perhaps being tempted by that.
That being said, even just a small amount of monsters you kill, even if you get a few tier 5s, it's so nice to have those supplies. It's even one like random trinket that you could just get like a T-bow like we did, or a Void Waker like we did.
If you play for the first breach and you just get like strong and dominate that first breach, even if you get like a few kills in other teams, that's huge. That's food for the final. That's costing them food for the final.
Yeah.
true.
And
What about dying just before the first breach, Dino? What about that part?
Yeah, so hopefully that doesn't happen. Bro, I think it was like 3 times day 1 last time.
Yeah, you was down in the dumps, bro. Running around in his studded. Oh no, it's fucked.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Cool
at least in season 1, I think over half the kills and deaths happened on day 1, which is obviously everyone's a lot weaker. People don't have brews and things like that. So if you're running around doing Desert Treasure, you're probably going to be very weak. And yeah, that's another point. Like someone doesn't have to do Desert Treasure to pick you off doing dig site quests. They can come with those Zami Flames, and might be a very bad day for you and with some terrible stats.
Where do we think the Herblore XP is going to come from, by the way? Because I was the Legends Quest Rusher last time for the Herb XP, and that's done now.
Where's crafting coming from, bro? I don't know what to do. We don't have Cox gems.
Damn, you guys are all stumped.
There we go.
They're all panicking. They're all panicking.
Notice they didn't answer, by the way. They already have it planned.
Come on,
Bro.
No, so what I think last year, not all teams did Legends Quest for their Herb War. I think some teams did what's the vampire quest line? Sins of the Father. I think that's what some of the Song of the Elves teams did, like Torvesta's team and Foe's team. They got Herb War from that. But this time, skilling will be more difficult, especially because no one's actually said this, so I don't know if anyone's even noticed, but the XP rates are 15 times. It's not 20 times this year, to sort of account for the extra XP you do get from Sigils.
I just assumed.
So you did.
There
we go.
I thought it was the same.
So like you won't actually get as much XP. So getting to Bruise will be a bit of a struggle. Getting to the Black D'hide might be a bit more of a struggle this time, and might have to plan in some more skilling.
Wait,
so why did you change it, Joel? What was the?
Well, it's because of the sigils. So especially for combats, the sigils just make your training so much faster. Breaches, the crowning jewel of the week in Deadman Allstars. They see a few changes this time. I think the biggest of which are that now the breaches are at set locations. So you can plan for particular breaches. You can get there early. You can anticipate where they're going to be, which is a massive change from last time where they were random. Second big change for breaches, they're longer. They now last 20 minutes, up from 15 minutes, so an extra 5 minutes per breach. There will be one extra breach because the week is 1 day longer. And the final thing about breaches is that now when you attack a breach monster, your player gets skulled, which was a highly recommended change from last time. I think I was doing a breach last time, and V the Victim was typing to me in Zaya, and he was like, Joel, make it so the breach monsters skull you next time. I was like, yeah, okay. Yeah, it's a good idea, because it promotes people attacking each other. So, yeah, what do you guys think of the breach changes?
The predetermined location is interesting because, like, I'm looking at one of them, right? I don't know if I should say it, but is there any good way to get to Apatow?
Share with the class, buddy. Come on,
besides that one boat, or are we gonna see like a team just sitting there and just like smacking anyone on arrival?
I'll actually talk about how the locations were decided. So last time there were a few awkward breaches where single really wasn't too far away from the breach, and it created this where the Focake owners, they sort of stood on the single line. People could drag monsters to single. It wasn't what I had in mind for multi-breaches. All these locations have been chosen because they're pretty closed in multi-spots. And in making them all 8 of them different, it's actually quite a struggle. There isn't that much multi-combat in RuneScape, believe it or not.
Yeah,
You're always
definitely not, yeah.
pretty close to a single zone. So that's the reason why the locations have been chosen as they are. And I mean, you're right to bring up something like Apatol. That one's going to be a bit of a mess, to be honest.
You can have the portal in your house, and you can use the.
Yeah, there are a few ways in. So yeah, you can have the Arceus portal in your house, which takes you to the dungeon. You can take the boat in. Well, there's the other thing of you can just turn up 10 minutes early. You can turn up 20 minutes early.
Yeah, you can even log out there if you really want to. Like,
yeah, you can even log out. Oh, that's a spicy one. Imagine like you guys are getting like your team's getting destroyed by the breach monsters.
Shit.
And the whole team just logs in like DD.
yeah, everyone just hyped. It's like, oh, we got there by ourselves, and just fucking 5 people.
Oh yeah,
like,
log out tag. That
You
is
just
actually
leaked the
interesting,
strat.
Yeah, you just leaked the strat, bro.
Right, if you guys didn't think about that, the thing that I'm very disappointed. What? You didn't think about that? What?
No.
Shit. I like to shut the fuck up sometimes.
Yeah, not like your whole Twitch chat's gonna be like they're logged out right there.
Yeah, true. They're all getting banned though, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, so it is very interesting with the predetermined thing, so you can make plans like how early are you going to turn up to the breach location? There could be fighting before the breaches even start because you've both rocked up 5 minutes early, have you? Like, and
true.
one team's looking for blood, so it really extends that breach experience, and it actually with the 20 minutes as well. I feel like it will essentially be twice as long in terms of like the breach time. You have that pre-breach bit, the post-breach bit is extended. And it's the Deadman Armageddon monsters at the breaches. So those monsters, they stay for half an hour, I think, after the breach is done. So
the Jad as well, bro. The Jad's going to be rocking around.
Yeah, the Jad. We've got Jad. We've got all the magic marks, the Ranging Rose, Vardorvis. All those new ones are included. We have got rid of King Black Dragon and Kriara because they're particularly awful.
Yeah, those ones were great.
Yeah, thank God.
So those ones got removed, and I think Jad's had his hit points scaled down as well because he has 5,000 hit points in Deadman Armageddon. So that's come down to 1,000 because 5,000 hit point Jad is a bit crazy. So yeah, any specific locations you guys are looking forward to? I know you mentioned Apatol as like being potentially horrible.
The Khazard one, it's on day 2, so I don't know. Are people gonna get a fire cape to go through that door on? Like,
that's the thing, right? It's a trade off because that's a lot of time investment. Like 5 people doing a fire cape to get into the Inferno area. That's a lot of time wasted.
Dude, I'm just imagining some guy misclicks on a Khazard and like all the monsters get mad at them and they just
the mage.
The mage one, yeah.
Barraging a breach monster, you hit the mage.
It's gonna be hectic. All that. It's gonna be so fun.
Yeah, so that's another hectic one. I mean, I think we've got a good mix between. I like to call them like enclosed breaches where it's going to be quite congested, like the Tazar one, Apatol. The Valamor one's pretty congested as well. But then there are quite expansive ones like Anakal on day 3, day 1 the Zombie Pirates, the Middle Wilderness one on day 5. So there's a nice mix of locations. And I just wanted to bring some of the breaches out of the wilderness because we got Boneyard 3 times last time because it was random and it just wasn't ideal really.
Yeah, and it gradually gets like more open as well. The deeper you go, like Rose Castle day 8, it fits very well for the general tournament. I wouldn't be surprised if certain people just don't go to the day 8 one. Like
with the food changes this time, I could see people being a bit selective about which breaches they do attend.
Yeah,
and how they play the breaches as well. Because previously, like a lot of teams, they, the way I try to do it is like be more aggressive and fight and whatnot. But then certain teams would be like, go for just PVM. But like, you kind of have to fight this time because dying means so much.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the reason why we've introduced sculling on the breach monsters because in season 1, like, our team found ourselves being like, okay, let's just kill the monsters. Let's not even bother attacking anyone on like days 5, 6, 7. So if we do get something, we can instantly teleport, but that's not the case if you are all skulled from PVMing. And so it also changes up the dynamic at a breach. Yeah.
You already have that tele timer anyway, but then where you're going to teleport is not going to be a safe zone because if you're unskulled, yeah.
There was that instance in season 1 where I think Odeblock got the Status Warhammer, went to Ferox, and it's
God, there we go.
He's like, I'm protecting the hammer, and then you guys have a
Yeah,
breakdown.
I've just got 8 people. I'll be like, oh shit, what's going on here, fellas?
So like people, it's like, say if you get that VLS, like you're out of your team, and then you're a 4-man in multi, and if you get into something, it really switches.
Yeah,
up
then you got to drop it because you got the
power
disadvantage. Yeah.
levels.
Is it going to be broadcast when you get an item?
Yes, it will be. So in Deadman
Oh,
Armageddon, that was
shit.
removed, but I think Manked has added that back into the code. And if you can't instantly
Okay, yeah, that's
teleport,
good.
could be spicy getting on someone, especially at somewhere like maybe like the enclosed breaches or like the deep worldy ones. Like you can't just teleport out of Rogue's Castle. The whole map's going to be running after you.
Imagine the vibes if your team gets a VLS and then you die for it at the breach.
Oh my God.
no.
Oh no, dude. It would be so bad.
I can't wait for the hookah lounge for that one, boys. Let's go.
There is no more hookah lounge, man. You don't get sigils in
True.
there.
Joel removed it, man. That's fucked up.
Nah, people definitely will still go to Warriors Guild. It's just way too... Like, do you really think people are going to
Yeah,
be there like
just a
10
waste of
minute
time,
AFK?
isn't it? It's like,
Well, but like,
I don't know,
it's,
it's not.
if you can't hit your hours, you may as well just AFK something. And you're not going to be like walking
Yeah,
away
true.
from the computer AFKing out somewhere random. That's so risky. I mean, I guess you could, but...
Can't hit your hours. Everyone's got to hit the hours. We've got an extra day.
Oh, so I'll talk about the hours because I don't think I really mentioned that in the announcement video. The hour cap is still... I mean, whenever I speak about this, I'm always like, we sound like such freaks because to someone with like a 9 to 5 job, saying like, oh, the hours are now a more reasonable 14 hours a day.
Yeah, it's only 14.5 hours, boys. That's not
I
that much,
know.
is it, right?
So in the previous season, it was 120 hours. It's just a cap for the entire week. It's not per day or anything like that. But last time, it averaged out to be about 17 hours a day, which sounds ridiculous, but I had a good 5-6 people begging me for more playtime on the last day. So I think people hit it. People get really close. I think everyone played over 100 last time.
Yeah, you find people they'll be like logging out between activities and like when you go get a drink, you'll log out this time as well. Like the top competitors that want to max.
Yeah.
You know,
so this time, what I was going to say is it's still 120 hours the total cap, but we've added one extra day of competition, which brings like the average in quotation marks down to 14 hours a day. So it's a bit more manageable. Like we have people on both ends of the spectrum, like we want more time, or we want less time, or we want uncapped time. So I think it's a bit more healthy this time for sure. Did you guys hit your hours? I think Rhys probably is the only one here that hit the cap last time.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I think I was like 30 minutes short.
Yeah.
None of you guys capped.
No, we're not.
Fuck.
Dude, I was sick.
You're letting your team down. No wonder you guys got smoked.
Okay.
Port stayed up the entire night one and then made himself ill, bro.
Bro, Paul, you gotta pace yourself this time, bro. You can't be staying up all night.
But
That will
dude,
kill
you gotta
me as
rush
well.
early. You gotta get the advantage over everyone else. You know, like
Yeah, but
It's true.
was you efficient when you was doing that Russian, buddy? What were we saying?
dude, honestly, it was just bad RNG.
I would
like,
be.
like,
Rhys just asked Port Khazard if he was efficient, man. Who is this guy?
Oh, true. Damn, good point. But is anyone efficient when they're 25 hours deep?
Yeah,
'Cause I fucking ain't.
It is
Yeah,
true.
that's true.
And I feel like someone like Pip as well stayed up all night last time, and then probably could have got away from Ditterbitter and died at Breach 2. Like, and that's probably
Yeah.
because he stayed up all night. Like that extra
Yeah,
sleep does
100%.
help a lot. So
I
think
feel like
that
3-4
sounds
hours
true.
sleep is good.
Yeah. Yeah, but like I said, to any employed people, we sound ridiculous right now. So yeah.
Yeah, they're probably like, what the fuck? What's this conversation?
Okay, moving on to the PvP changes. So first, I'm going to talk about the food rewards and penalties. Now, these are some of the things which have been talked about the most when they were announced last time. People asking why you lose food if you die. The main reason you lose food if you die is because you can mule in Deadman Allstars. So you could mule all your stuff off and then just go and hunt Black Chins risk-free or do barrows risk-free. And if you die, you don't really care. So having the food attached to your death, it means that you do care about dying and you're always carrying risk, which is sort of the way the game mode is intended to be played. But last time, bit of an oversight, we didn't have rewards for getting kills as well. So this time we do have rewards for getting kills, and you receive food for kills. So anglerfish and brew upgrades. So you receive anglerfish for the first couple, but then you'd start to lose out on inventory slots and your finale gear. So we have to start upgrading people's brews from food. So that's them. Say they had an anglerfish, they'd get a brew upgrade. So it's essentially a 42 hit points increase when they hit those brew milestones. and that goes
and
all the way up
also
to kill 12.
No delay on hitting back as well, so brews are massive. But that's what you deserve if you get a plus like above 5 kills. So it makes a lot of sense for the tourney.
I would have been a beast last time. Dude.
Yeah, you would have been a beast. So just to put this into context, I think the top kill count last time was 8 kills. I think Pip and West Ham got 8 kills, and I think the top deaths was 7. So that wouldn't have been looking good for skill specs or whoever it was last time. But
I didn't think it was skill specs, buddy. What's that about?
I think it was skill specs, man.
It was actually, wasn't it?
He was dying dressed as a sandwich lady at the breach, like 2 deaths in the breach or something.
Fucking hell, what a guy. I love it.
So yeah, so with this structure, I want the first 3 kills and deaths to really matter. I mean, as another thing to point out is last time the median amount of kills was 1 and the median amount of deaths was 1. So this doesn't actually, I mean, I know there are changes this time which will mean there's more kills and more deaths, but like for the most part, I want people to really feel the effects of the kills and the deaths. Last time we went to a breach and we just muled everything because we didn't actually care about our deaths, which I think was.
I mean, a good example that I could have done is when we fought you guys at one of the breaches, right? And we was winning the fight. And I don't know why my brain didn't think like this. I didn't expect you guys to just return in fucking gear. I was like thinking, like, oh, surely they care about dying. And then I'd be like, oh, I'm winning, boys. And then I just see fucking Pip and Elliot just spawn back in. I'm like, what the fuck?
It's like COD zombies, bro.
Yeah, legit, I'm like, what's going on? So that this time, like, if they do that, then it's going to mean so much more. Because then we can just, you can just then kill the person again because they're in lower gear. And you lose more food. You get more kills, etc.
And obviously, the incentives are massive. Like, you can turn up to a breach with no intention of attacking monsters, just to attack people to try and get some of these food milestones. And definitely expecting people to do that, which will change the dynamics of the breaches a lot. I'm almost worried that there won't be enough PVM going on the breaches now. It'll literally all be PvP, but I guess...
Yeah, I mean, if that happens, then the fucking viewers are in for a good treat. Let's just say that. Great content.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's one of the biggest points of feedback from Season 1 was we want more PvP, especially outside the breaches as well. So now Dino, West Ham, Rhys, Oda, these guys, they have a reason to go out and hunt people in single combat a bit more. Whereas last time, they were just going to go and kill somebody for some useless barriers.
Yeah, last time it wasn't the meta, and this time it will be the meta. That's the biggest difference.
Yeah, so I'm hoping to see some more PKing for sure. And even from not the elite level PKs, so maybe someone like me could be tempted in the system to skill up and attack some people.
Yeah, I mean, even like the multi runs that you did a lot, they're going to matter a lot more this time.
I mean, if someone gets good, like if they get lucky on sigils and they get a good PK setup, like just send it. Good.
Right, yeah, put it down, buddy. Put it down.
Dude, if I get like swashbuckler and I get like finality, bro, like I'm going.
He's going mental.
You can't give people too much food and like too much extra stuff because then the finale will be way too long, and Jagex sort of wants the finale around 3-4 hours. Is another point of balancing, which people don't. Do you know what I mean? It's not something that's at the forefront of your mind as a viewer. Okay, so moving on to talking a bit more about the finale. So I've got the ban list up here, which has a bunch of things that you don't normally see. This time we are banning Vengeance, we're banning Phoenix necklaces, we're banning certain sigils, and everyone's going to be tri-breeding against each other, so that's going to be a bit more interesting. Another thing I didn't mention in the video was that teams will be lining up in reverse skill order. So say you'll have Coxie versus Mr. Marvel first or something. Not to flame these guys, but it'll be like Coxie versus Mr. Marvel.
Mr. Marvel's my favorite from my remember.
Coxie's good, man.
And at the end, maybe you'd have like a West Ham versus a Berry. So it's like, it's more it's like an ELO system, like within the teams, which
how's that determined, by the way?
So yeah, it'll be the refs and like people that have done a lot of fights against a lot of people. I mean, I've fought.
Yeah, you can tell, can't you? Really?
So, yeah, as long as no one's taking the piss with it, like I think it's kind of obvious what the order should be.
Dude, that's my favorite change because last time I fought Oda block 2 out of 3 fights.
Yeah,
it'd be so much easier.
With VLS as well, bro. That's a scary one. Isn't it? That's a scary one.
It was bad.
To be honest, looking down the draft these days, everyone has done a decent amount of PvP. Like I see people like Coxie practicing PvP on stream, and like Mutz and Verf in the PvP arena off stream. Everyone's at a decent enough level at this point.
And you also now you get them big fights, like you get like the West Ends versus Rhys, like the Oders versus Rhys, whatever it might be.
Did you just
Instead,
name
like last
yourself
time.
twice?
The big
Rhys
fights.
just said himself.
Well, like the West Ham versus Oder then. The West Ham versus Oder then. There you go.
Then big
West
fights,
Ham,
West Ham versus
versus
me.
Odegaard.
That's actually insane.
Well, no, the West Ham versus Oder then. Right, you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
The backside of your team is likely to be where all the big items are and where a lot of the food is as well, because your best PKs are going to be going at the end and they probably have more kills. So they probably got more food and they probably have the VLS and they probably have the big items. So it's like a slow build to that crescendo of the final fights. And I think it'll be a bit more
and then they
entertaining.
could potentially bring it all back as well. Like it makes it so much more hype. And it's at the ending fight, yeah.
Also, we're changing up how the finale works a bit. So last time it was a double elimination bracket, which is a little bit confusing, especially with 6 teams. It also meant that there was quite a lot of repeat fights, whereas the group stages of groups of 3 means that there should be a lot more variety of fights, and functionally it's pretty similar in terms of it's pretty much double elimination. But if you get knocked out in the semis, maybe it's not necessarily like that. It's a bit better of a system for variety. So last time, for example, my team, the Snakes, we fought the Warriors, then we fought the Nuggets, then we fought the Warriors, and then we were out. Whereas this time it would be we fight the Warriors, the Nuggets, and then maybe we go through and then fight the Devils or something like that. So like it'll be 3 different teams rather than 2 of the same, and then it'll be a lot more variation this time. Half of the seeding is going to be off kills, and 25% off deaths, and then another 25% off combat level. Okay, I guess finally let's wrap up with just having a chat about what do you see people doing in the week? Not to sort of angle shoot here and get some inside info, but last time there was a lot of Chambers of Xeric. Some teams did Song of the Elves. Do you reckon people will do Song of the Elves again? Because the Beaufort is actually very good on paper.
No. I mean, I said this from day dot last time, and I'll say it again. The Beaufort is like the biggest new bait in this tournament. Like if you go for that, you have such a big disadvantage in the finale and during the week as well.
Yeah, so I was doing some testing with the Beaufort, and I really wanted to go for it. I was kind of set on going for it. The issue is...
Why'd you go for it, Dino? Fuck you! Why'd you go for it?
You can't store it, so you can't go to like breaches and stuff. That's where it falls short.
Can you not store the weapon seed and just save it for the finale?
Don't tell them.
It would cost you shards, but then you'd end up having your deposit box be it like armor seeds, unless you get loads of armor seeds. It's just not worth it.
I suppose
like
cheapo spots.
How many armor seeds do you get per Beaufort on average? Is it like 5 or something? 5, 6?
I think it works out to be the 6, right? I think.
Is it not 8?
Oh no, wait, it's 8. No, it's 8. It's 1 in 50,
50,
1 in 400. Right? Yeah, so it's 8. So you actually, on average, you should have a surplus.
The reason why it didn't work, and both teams that did do it went out really early, is like, obviously it's a 2-handed weapon. You got no mage defense, and mage defense is a massive thing in a tournament like this. Like what you'll see now with no Venge, people will go more mage defense setups this time. They'll like have more Odium wards, more Carol skirts, and things like that. Because last time Crystal Shields was big because of the Venge bolters potentially going against them.
To be fair, did Foe's team have like any of the prayers, the Cox prayers? Because I feel like this time you could get like prayers plus Beaufort, right? That would have helped them a lot.
Yeah, I mean they had Fangs and Blood Furies and Beauforts.
There's some setups where Beauforts are disgusting.
Beaufort,
as far as
so much.
stakes.
It's so much harder now, right? Because the 15x because you would quest your XP for the most part. They did like Legends Quest and
put a grind
Sins of the Father. But now that's 15x instead of 20x, so it's a lot. Will you still be able to get there?
I mean, you can still like do really well with it, but I think it's a big disadvantage personally.
Imagine if you go for Beaufort and then you get a gunslinger sigil. It's just useless now.
Yeah, you're just like, what the fuck?
We saw a little bit of TOA last time. I think a lot of us are anticipating that TOA is going to be a bit of the spot. It's going to take the raid crown from Cox this time. I can't imagine there's going to be much, if any, Cox going on. I mean, there's still a hell of a lot of good drops in there. It's just the prayer scrolls are so common, right? So I can't imagine there's going to be much Cox. I think it's going to be TOA focus. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think the expected value of Chambers goes down so much when you're not like looking for the scrolls.
The expected value. Oh my god, I'm learning words, boys. Come on.
I think TOA and God Wars Dungeon are going to be huge, which puts a lot more focus on multi this time. And yeah.
You know, if everyone's going TOA, the Vesta Spear is going to be like people won't be so upset to get one of those now.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, the thing is with TOA, it's you have to do that quest line. So that's like 2-3 hours investment into it. And it's a bit of a different dynamic to Chambers of Xeric. So last time Chambers of Xeric, we had, for example, Pip and Eli. They went to escort Port and Coxie out every single time, but that's not necessarily going to work unless you sink all that time in to get a bunch of members of TOA.
That's very true.
Beneath Curse Sands done this time, so it's going to be a bit different.
Yeah, I never thought about that.
Yeah, so I mean, if you want someone to scout the exit, like you might have to just send it out the exit with like one brew on you, and it might be someone who's not particularly experienced with PvP. So that might be a bit spicy.
In the same idea, like if you want a PK there, you have to go do that quest.
Yeah, that is very true.
I feel like a couple hours is worth it though.
Dino's going to be sat at the exit all day.
Even for doing the raid, right? Like it's so huge.
You are right, yeah. It's like it's less meaningful than Raids 1 as you would expect, right? Because there's what, like a Fang and Missouri potentially. There's the two things. And obviously
Fang's huge. Missouri is massive.
Yeah. But I compared it to like both the prayers, Ancestral, Claws, Kodai.
Yes, but obviously
there'll be much less people doing
anyway,
it,
right? Like
much less people are going to be doing raids this time is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, for sure. And also, if there is more PKing with some of the PJ timer changes, the food changes, so even somewhere like Barrows, it might be pretty difficult. It's going to be a lot more difficult this time, right? Because you can't just get the brother on you to tank and like. So it's
going to be rough, bro.
There are going to be more roadblocks for sure. You're going to have to probably, if you don't have good sigils, you might have to go try farm some sigils for a bit. I think Slayer is particularly good for that. And I'm excited to see what happens because the week is the same format, but it's like set up to have such a different feel this time.
What are your day one expectations? Do you think there's going to be another zombie pirate massacre?
Well, zombie pirates got nerfed though, didn't they, since last time? So I'm not.
It's still worth it, I think.
Yeah, they were nerfed. Very good.
They were nerfed. They were nerfed when we had them last time.
No, I think they were nerfed just after last All-Stars.
Were they? Oh.
Yeah, so they're nerfed this time. But yeah, like you said, they're still good because it's still really good XP. You still get it's the food which is massive.
Yeah, I think there's gonna be a massacre at the fucking Corona library this time. The cat's out of the bag. Everyone knows about it.
Yeah, library as well. That's the thing. You can look at the good strategies from last time, and everyone can copy them and just get some ideas. I mean, I think this time the whole narrative of the day 1-2 is going to be dominated by Desert Treasure. Like who's getting that done? Yeah, I think so because trying to escape a barrager when you have Entangle is like it's not going to be fun for sure.
That's true.
Okay, well, Deadman Allstars Day 1 will be on the 30th of May, going through to the finale on the 8th of June, and you can also expect the draft coming very soon in a couple of days. That is on the 22nd of May. Thanks to all these guys for joining me. Leave a comment. What are you thinking for Deadman Allstars? Give us some ideas in the comments. Go on now. And subscribe to this channel. It will be the home of the Deadman Allstars highlight videos. Thank you very much, and I will see you in the Deadman Allstars draft.